In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we're expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at advertise@k98talk.org. The leader in talk radio on the Internet, right here on K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network.
All right, folks, well, it is Thursday, October 15th, 2015, and this is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. I'll be live with you for the next hour, coming to you coast to coast around the world and worldwide through K98Talk.org, K98Talk.com, and the SparkRadioNetwork.com. Of course, if you are listening to us streaming elsewhere, that means you're probably listening to a replay. I'm going to give a shout out to all the affiliates here in just a moment, but I do want to give a quick shout out to a new team member. Well, I say new. She's been with us for a while, but I'm officially joining her team starting in the next couple of weeks. That's right. I'm going to go ahead and make the official announcement. I am being accepted over at WNJC 1360 out of Philly. Probably start airing. The preliminary is Thursdays at 1 Eastern. Going to do one show a week over there. We'll finish ironing out the details sometime through either tomorrow or Monday, because I have a lot of other irons in the fire that we have to get dealt with first, but other really, really great news in the works. But I want to give a shout out to my newest official team member who's been part of Talk now for a while. She's heard every Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Graceland Radio, right here on K98Talk.com and .org, and well, she doesn't have a spot on the Spark because she's not actually part of my network, but those two. And so she got some news today, and I want to give her what she's due. She is expanding her brand like crazy and working like mad, like the rest of us, trying to make a difference and trying to find more places to put things and everything else. And she's gotten some pretty amazing news from her local area. She's actually now been picked up by a local online publication, hottoddy.com. They are going to start running her show every week right there on their weblog, which are, I guess it's, from the looks of it, it looks more like kind of like a webzine kind of thing. But it's pretty awesome, and she was really stoked about it, and so are we, because here at Talk, we'd love to see when folks actually are doing what it is that they love to do and finding a way to get things done. So, for the moment, we're going to go ahead and take a really quick break. I'm going to do things a little bit out of order and come back and do the affiliates when we get back from the main intro, just because I realized that I have a varmint in here with me, and it's about time for the mailman to show up, so I really don't want it to sound like somebody's about to try to kill him. So, just in case, we're going to take break a little bit unscheduled. Not really, because usually when I take one anyway, I just usually do it after I give a shout out to the affiliates, but we'll do that when we get back. Then we'll start with the show. For those of you who are listening online and not able to see the title, working title for this show is Can We Fix What's Broken or Is It Too Late? And of course, as I've been doing all pretty much through this week, we will be focusing on the democratic debate. And yes, that was not a speech impediment. I said democratic. All right, so we'll be right back here in just a couple minutes.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
We will keep this promise to the American people If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period. If you like your health care plan, you will be able to keep your health care plan, period.
This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy. Don't expect us to admit a mistake. We're paying off election debts to those on the take. Attorney General's lying even while
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Again, it's just about 10 minutes past the hour right here in beautiful downtown Oklahoma City. Now, we're doing things a little bit out of order tonight. So, I want to give a quick shout out to the affiliates here. Before we get started, of course, there is the network that I built, the SparkRadioNetwork.com, first place to ever carry the show. Didn't really have a choice because I own it. Then K98Talk.org, where I was asked to become partner and also the programming director here. And I've built everything you see before you. Found some of the best folks in talk radio, tried to bring them all into one place. Still working on making that happen, and you can see everybody continue to grow by leaps and bounds. And I'm not trying to take any of the credit for that at all. This is all through their hard work that we have turned into what we are. But that being said, as far as America Off the Rails goes, the first place that picked us up outside of anything that I had any major control over was AMFM247.com, where the show can be heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 Eastern. And that is on their Live 365 stream, as well as 8 low-power markets, places like Vegas, Philly, others that for some reason always escape me when it's time to start giving out their information. The next ones to pick us up were SHR Media, where the show can be heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Not sure why Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are so popular. Maybe those are the shows that I usually do pretty well at. I don't know. This is Thursday, so you be the judge. All right, so anyway. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 Eastern in the morning. Then the next place to pick us up was Red State Talk Radio, where we can be heard every Sunday morning at 6 Eastern, 5 Central, over there with some of the best folks in internet-based talk radio. Primo's actually the top dog over there. Does take some adjusting for me to get used to not being the top dog when I send him all my stuff. But, you know, it's just one of those things where it's great to be there. I've learned a lot just from being a part of that team, and it's actually helped us make talk even better. And then, of course, the last place to pick us up until WNJC does in a couple of weeks is High Point Radio out of Montauk, New Jersey, where folks like Michael Vera and myself can be heard every single day. And it's an honor to be everywhere that we are, and it's all thanks to all of you that tune in and listen to the show on a regular basis, whether it's live, stream, or Memorex. It doesn't matter. You're still listening. You're still supporting, and I love every last one of you, because without you, I would still do it. Trust me, I'm crazy enough. But it's awesome that so many of you are starting to listen. So I just want to give a shout-out to all of you. I don't do it often enough anymore, because there's always so many things I want to try to get to, and I take you guys for granted. So I just want to take today to tell you that I am truly blessed to be doing what I do, and I love the fact that so many of you tune in and make it a part of your day, especially when there are so many choices that you could make. And I just want to say thank you. All right, so that being said, back to the title of the show is, can we fix what's broken, or is it too late? I'm not sure where I stand on this yet. It's one of the reasons why I decided to do the show. Sometimes it's a learning experience for me as much as it is for you, because I have to admit, there are times when I look at everything that's going on around the country, and the first thing I really start thinking is, holy crap, are we really too far gone? Is it too late? Is it done? Is it over? What else can we do? Because it really is just pretty much a scary, scary situation when you really stop and think about it right now. if you look at what's going on in the debate circles right now, we have probably some of the scariest situations I have ever seen in my life going on right now.
Balance, job, family, checkbook.
All right, bear with me a second. I think I forgot something. There we go. A company that shall remain nameless. If you don't fix your pop-up blocker, I'm going to start blasting you on air. Grr. Okay, so anyway, because you can't do internet radio anymore without having a zillion pop-ups when you try to have more than one screen open. Anyway, so I guess a couple of things that I want to play today to kind of give you the same hopeless feeling that I have. One of them is a clip from the debate, and then others are some things that I found over time that we're going to continue to use. This is basically one of the moments where I wasn't quite sure if Bernie has already realized he's not going to make it and he's trying to vie for vice president, or if he's pretty sure he's going to make it if he can get Hillary to go second chair with him. Because this clip makes absolutely no sense, but here it is.
You are going to be testifying before Congress next week about your emails. For the last 8 months, you haven't been able to put this issue behind you. You dismissed it, you joked about it, you called it a mistake. What does that say about your ability to handle far more challenging crises as president?
Well, I've taken responsibility for it. I did say it was a mistake. What I did was allowed by the State Department, but it wasn't the best choice. And I have been as transparent as I know to be, turning over 55,000 pages of my emails, asking that they be made public. And you're right, I am going to be testifying. I've been asking to testify for some time and to do it in public, which was not originally agreed to. But let's just take a minute here and point out that this committee is basically an arm of the Republican National Committee. It is a partisan vehicle, as admitted by the House Republican Majority Leader, Mr. McCarthy, to drive down my poll numbers. Big surprise. And that's what they have attempted to do. I am still standing. I am happy to be part of this debate, and I intend to keep talking about the issues that matter to the American people. I believe strongly that we need to be talking about what people talk to me about. Like, how are we going to make college affordable? How are we going to pay down student debt? How are we going to get health care for everybody and get the cost of prescription
Secretary
drugs
Clinton,
down?
with all due respect, it's a little hard. Isn't it a little bit hard for you to call this just a partisan issue? There's an FBI investigation, and President Obama himself just 2 days ago said this is a legitimate issue.
Well, I never said it wasn't legitimate. I said that I have answered all the questions, and I will certainly be doing so again before this committee. But I think it would be really unfair not to look at the entire picture. This committee has spent $4.5 million of taxpayer money, and they said that they were trying to figure out what we could do better to protect our diplomats so that something like Benghazi wouldn't happen again. There were already 7 committee reports about what to do. So I think it's pretty clear what their obvious goal is, but I'll be there. I'll answer their questions. But tonight, I want to talk not about my emails, but about what the American people want from the next president of the United States.
Let me say this. Let me say something that may not be great politics, but I think the Secretary is right. And that is that the American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails.
Thank you. Me too.
The middle class, Anderson, and let me say something about the media as well. I go around the country, talk to a whole lot of people. Middle class of this country is collapsing. We have 27 million people living in poverty. We have massive wealth and income inequality. Our trade policies have cost us millions of decent jobs. The American people want to know whether we're going to have a democracy or an oligarchy as a result of Citizens United. Enough of the emails. Let's talk about the real issues facing America.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you.
All right, so what you heard there was pretty much a Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton love fest, and it was kind of gross. And it was kind of disgusting. And it was just all around gave me the heebie-jeebies because, here's the thing. You can make light of that email situation all you want. You can say it doesn't matter. You can say it's not that big of a deal because it was okay by the rules of the State Department, whatever you want to say about it. But the simple fact of the matter is people died because of that email scandal, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. And these two were on stage talking to each other like this. Or like this even.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
I mean, that's basically what that whole conversation was. I was just waiting for Bernie to say, hey, hang on. Let me go pop this little blue pill, and then we'll go behind the curtain. Wow, chicken, wow, wow. I mean, it's either that or he's vying for vice president. I don't know which one it is. Hillary, I don't know. I mean, maybe she likes older guys. But for Bernie, it'd be a step in the right direction, because what, is she about 20 years younger than him? But anyway, so I mean, but this is the thing. You listen to these two, and this isn't the only clip, but you listen to these two, and they sound like all they want to do is detract from all of the issues that honestly matter while they're telling you that they want to talk about the things that honestly matter. But I have a question. Are they truly trying to fix anything that's broken? Because, there's a group chat that we all use. A lot of the hosts on Talk will get in there. We'll talk, we'll promote, we'll hang out. I know I said this yesterday, but it's kind of becoming a regular thing. It was kind of pointed out that if you look at the Founding Fathers and some of the folks that were the critical thinkers of that day, not just them, but folks like Locke and a few others, we seem to have literally devolved over the last 200 years. We have gone from some of the best and brightest minds in the world helping to found this country and giving some of the ideas that it was based on to, hey, shut up and take some free stuff and have this phone right over here and, yeah, go back and eat your Twinkies because we're going to take care of you. We're going to make you an offer that you can't refuse. And if you try to refuse, we'll give you more Twinkies. I don't understand the mindset anymore because there are so many different ways we could actually fix what's broken instead of throwing free stuff at everybody. Bernie Sanders' answer to college, make it free, get the government involved. Do you guys not realize that the government subsidies and the government programs are what continue to drive up the cost? Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Anytime government gets involved in anything, the costs skyrocket. And it's because people are not stupid. They're driven by desires. And when all of a sudden you realize the government's tapping into something and going to help you pay for it, oh wow, I can get that new boat I want because now all I have to do is charge them double because the government's paying half. Duh. It's the same thing that happened with the medical industry when the insurance companies got involved. Look at it. Like, what was it? 1975, 1976. You break your arm or your leg, you go to the hospital, you get x-rays, you get the cast, you're out the door, probably about maybe $100, $150. 1986, same injury. $3,000 because there's somebody in the middle. You're not paying attention to what you're actually purchasing anymore because there's somebody in the middle. The same thing happens with the government, but in reverse, because they don't give a shit what they're purchasing. Oops, that's one of the words I can't say anymore, so we're going to have to edit that later. They don't care what they're purchasing because they don't. Because it's not their money. They're spending your money. Why do they care what they're purchasing? And we're not allowed to know what they're purchasing or what they're spending it on because too much of it gets put into black money slush funds. So how are we truly going to fix what's broken? And can we even? I spent most of the show talking about how I would do it, but there are other things that we could do. Instead of saying we need to make healthcare free to everybody, okay, that's great, that's fine. How are we going to pay for it? Where's the money going to come from? Somebody going to plant a few hundred of those magical money trees that everybody keeps bragging about that nobody can ever find? Because sure enough, if you know where one of those is, hit me up. I want one. I don't care if it takes 100 years to grow. I will plant the seeds today, and my grandkids or my great-grandkids won't have anything to worry about because when they run out of money, all they got to do is go out to the tree. That's how the liberals make you think it works. And I'm sorry to sound like the Facebook lady, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works because it's truly not. The money has got to come from somewhere. And contrary to popular belief, if you continue to squeeze and bleed the rich dry, they're just going to leave. They've already taken most of their businesses out of here. Do you really think they're not going to, hey, Cayman Islands, fuel up the jet, let's go, brother. Screw America, we don't need them anymore anyway. They needed us more than we needed them, and now they've decided they don't need us, so we're just going to pack up and go somewhere cool and hang out, and guess what? All the tax money that you thought you were getting is going to dry up. It's going to dry up, and this is the joys of living near an Air Force base, so pardon me, because I can see that's registering. Can't really do too much about it when it goes through the noise proofing. Just saying. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the U.S. military. Just kidding. Alright, so how could we fix it? What are some ways that we could make it work? The first thing we could honestly do, and we should do, is we should find ways to make sure that the people that have absolutely no healthcare coverage at all get access to healthcare. That could have been done without what Obama chose to do. The problem is Obama wasn't looking to fix what was broken. Obama was looking to make sure that we had the foundation for a single-payer healthcare system. And that's the God's honest truth. And if you don't believe me, in just a second, I will let you hear it from him. Because he actually says the same thing. Bear with me for a second while I'm pulling that up.
I want to make a distinction between a universal plan versus a single payer plan, because those are two different things. A single payer plan would be a plan like Medicare for All, or the kind of plan that they have in Canada, where basically government is the only entity that pays for all health care. Everybody has a government paid for plan, even though depending on which country, the doctors are still private or the hospitals might still be private. In some countries, the doctors work for the government and the hospitals are owned by the government. But the point is that government pays for everything, like Medicare for All. That is a single payer plan. I have not said that I was a single payer supporter because, frankly, we historically have had a employer-based system in this country with private insurers, and for us to transition to a system like that, I believe, would be too disruptive.
The challenge is, how do we get the federal government to take care of its business? I happen to be a proponent of a single-payer universal health care plan. That's no reason why the United States of America, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, is spending 14% of its gross national product on health care, cannot provide basic health insurance to everybody.
I have not said that I was a single payer supporter.
I happen to be a proponent of a single payer universal health care plan.
Alright, and there you heard it first, straight from the horse's mouth. First, when everybody's paying attention, single payer won't work here. Behind closed doors, single payer's the way to go. If you do not think that was the intention of this crappy medical system that we are now having shoved down our throats sideways, you have not been paying attention. Because how many times have they warned you about all of the things that are coming down the pike? Well, guess what? It's almost time. We're now hearing from folks in the insurance industry that you're looking at a minimum of a 26% increase on premiums. You're now talking about family plans having an $8,000 a year deductible. So I ask you, can we truly fix what's broken, or is it too late? Have we become so knee-jerky and feels that all we care about is what feels good for the moment, and who cares about the consequences 3 years later? Because look at it this way. They've been pushing these things down the road and playing kick the can with all these penalties and fees and everything else now for nearly 3 years. Our time is almost up. The system is still just as broken as it was when they started. They just don't want to admit it, because if you really look at the numbers, if you look at the exact numbers, we have almost the exact same amount of people that were uninsured before. We have that now. So tell me again how it is that we're all supposed to fix this when everything's broken. Pretty simple. It's really simple. You bring back competition. You get the government out of the way. When the government is involved, the prices skyrocket because anybody with half a brain knows you can charge the government whatever you want because they don't care, because it's not their money. But companies are going to care if they start having to compete with one another to get the business. So why is it that with something that is mandatory now, like car insurance is now, you can go anywhere in the country to get car insurance, cannot go anywhere in the country to get medical insurance? Why is that? Because the insurance companies do not want the competition. They have the monopoly in their areas, and they know that you are stuck with them, and all they have to do is keep telling the government it's going to cost more to give you the same services, and they make money hand over fist time and time and time again. But Obama said that he didn't want to have anything to do with the insurance industries. He thought the insurance industry needed to be taken care of, because behind closed doors he's all about, we need to do single payer. But the thing about it is, he's allowing the folks that shouldn't have the control that they already had in the first place to slowly kill themselves, and he's helping them do it. Because what's going to eventually wind up happening is they're going to keep charging so much that the system is not going to be able to sustain itself. It's going to collapse, and the government's going to have to step in to fix the problem. And if you think by listening to Bernie, I want to give you as much free stuff as I can because I'm a socialist and you should be too, Sanders can fix the problem, then you're not paying attention. But we will talk about that and more when we get back. We have got to take a really quick break. Time to pay some bills. We've hit the bottom of the hour already. My, oh my, where does the time go? I am Rick Robinson. I'll be back with you here in just about 4 minutes with more America Off the Rails. We've got to pay some bills. Do not go away. Lots of show left.
Red Nation Rising brings you Town Hall Radio.
From a single tweet to 3 million a month, our community is a force to be reckoned with on social media.
So don't miss our show, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on K98 Talk.
Our chat room is our co-host, and you ask the question.
Join us and be heard.
So get ready to sound off on Red Nation Rising Radio. No one else is going to do it for you.
There's a wild, wild whisper blowing in the wind, calling out my name like a long lost friend.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
K98Talk.com, a leader in internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98Talk.com.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members. of their families or their children, asking them to deploy, patrol, stay on watch, on point, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to bring them all the way home, to keep them secure, to have their backs for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs do whatever it takes to help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Find out how you can help at findwwp.org.
This is JD.
And this is Stacy.
Join us Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, for Game On. Remember,
lock up the children and the old folks.
Game On, the home of liberty conservative,
where no one is safe, and no one is spared, not even the hosts.
Oh, that was supposed to be a spin cycle. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We love you anyway. Right round, baby.
Self-monitoring
right
Ebola radio strikes again.
Anyway.
Anybody see the host monkey? Where's the host monkey? Where's the host monkey? For God's sake, I need an antidote. Just do your rant. Let's pop out of the segment.
Has to do with
Find us on Twitter at JD and Stacy.
You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Calls. We got a pen and telephone to bypass all your laws. Political correctness will replace the Bill of Rights. Support religious freedom, bless you, pray to Jesus Christ. The press is in our pockets.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, and during that break, I have discovered we seem to be having a technical issue with our mirror site. So normally we do try to refer you to K98Talk.org so you can see the full schedule and have access to the player. But the gremlins, otherwise known as the host monkey, seems to have reared its ugly head again because we seem to not have a player currently on K98Talk.org. So if you are trying to listen online, go ahead and go to the main site, the one that started it all, K98Talk.com. No, you will not be able to see the complete schedule there, so don't panic when you see a bunch of open, empty spaces. But that one still has a player, so I've got to figure out where the player went on the other one because I haven't changed anything, and I'm one of the only people that has access to do it, so I don't know what happened. Alright, so anyway, back to where I was before I was so rudely interrupted by the host monkey. We need to talk some turkey here, folks, because we really are about to run out of time. And I don't just mean because we're already into the last about 20 minutes-ish of the show. I mean because we are now hitting the point where it's honestly time to start looking at how to fix what's broken. If you missed yesterday's show, I do encourage you to go back and listen to it. You can find it in tons of places. Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeart, all over, pretty much everywhere. So go listen because I outlined the quick, down, and dirty, easy ways to fix a lot of the economy. But now we need to figure out the quick, dirty, down, and easy ways to fix the things that are coming out of your pocket. One of the biggest things that we need to do is get competition going with the insurance companies. They don't want it. They hate it. They lobby the government to keep it the way it is. But I think at this point they better realize that the government is slowly but surely trying to destroy them. So competition to bring the prices back down and bring things back way back down out of the stratosphere, which is what we pay for medical costs right now, would make a heck of a lot more sense. Because then you get the competition and you get the prices lower because people can go where they get the most for their dollar, which is what the free market is supposed to be about. When you start getting the government drawing all of these imaginary lines and saying that for this rule or that rule that you can't do this or it's illegal to do this, this is where we start having the problem. Because then what winds up happening is the government gets involved, like it's done with our healthcare system right now, and screws it all up. Because now the insurance companies don't care what they charge you, because they know that there's going to be a good chance that the government's going to pick up whatever of that $8,000 deductible you can't afford. Well, of course, once you've met the $8,000 deductible. Otherwise, not only do you now have an $8,000 deductible, the government is forcing you to have an $8,000 deductible because if you don't have one of their crappy healthcare plans, you get a fine. Isn't that just special? Oh, I'm sorry. I actually have a lady that says that now, and I keep forgetting that she's here. So let's let her do it.
Well, isn't that special?
I mean, seriously. I mean, is that what we have to look forward to now, is full government control of everything? Because if we keep listening to idiots like Bernie Sanders, that's exactly what we're going to have. The problem is, listen to all of these people that love Bernie Sanders. Let this sink in. I played this the other day, but I'm going to play it again.
Feel the burn! Feel the burn!
Under the hot sun in Boulder, Colorado, thousands turn out to cheer on Senator Bernie Sanders.
You're looking at the only non-billionaire major candidate for president who does not have a super PAC.
What do you like most about his message?
I believe that he really does have everybody's best interest in mind. He's not swayed by big corporations. I've enjoyed seeing the T-shirts here today that on the back say "not for sale," and I believe that he really isn't for sale.
For this group, transparency is key.
Bernie has been so good about making sure that people know where his money is coming from, making sure that we know who he's accountable to.
His supporters affectionately call him Bernie. They like his stance on climate change, his support of free public university education, and that he's fighting to close the gap between rich and poor.
The inequality that we have was laughed at when I was a child. It was the only thing that you would have maybe in a small, in those days, third world country.
What supporters here seem to like most about Bernie Sanders is his populist message that the government belongs to all people, not just the 1%ers, as Sanders likes to say. Supporters here see this as a chance for a revolution, and they want Sanders leading the way. The fact that Sanders is a self-described democratic socialist earns him points among this group.
And I was a democratic socialist before it was cool. I just want to say that on tape.
So you're okay with him being a democratic socialist?
Absolutely.
In a young crowd that is mostly white, this woman stands out, one of only a handful of African American supporters here.
I don't know if his name is really out there in the black population. Maybe he just needs to go in the lower income Detroit or just talk to the colleges and things like that.
The latest CNN polling from South Carolina shows 59% of black voters backing Hillary Clinton, just 4% for Sanders. Some black voters have said they're not hearing enough from him about police brutality and racial injustice.
I've heard more from Bernie about police brutality than any other candidate ever. Yeah, racial injustice. He's been doing it since the 60s.
A reference to Sanders' record on civil rights. In the 60s, he took part in the March on Washington. What's clear here is that when it comes to Bernie Sanders supporters, not everyone fits the mold. A lot of them are very young.
Well, we're older than dirt.
And you're supporting him?
Yes, we are. Yes.
I ask you today to join the political revolution. Let's transform America. Thank you.
All right, so listen to all of those folks fired up for Bernie. Do you realize that at this point, if you look at the numbers that he's pulling in to the stadiums and everything else, he's beating the numbers that Barack Obama had in 2008? Does that not terrify you? Because it terrifies me. Because it means we have an entire generation of people that think that this is the way to go. That the government needs to continue to take care of us. That the government needs to continue to take care of us from the moment we're born till the moment we die and every moment in between. It is not the America that I grew up in. It is not the country that our forefathers bled, fought, and died for. And the scary part is they warned us. They warned us. What have you created for us today, sir? A republic, madam, if you can keep it. The thing about it is, if you really look at their writings, they honestly didn't think this grand experiment would last longer than about 50 years. Now here we sit, over 200 years later, and we're watching it die. I mean, I can't sugarcoat it for you any more than that, folks. At this point, we are watching our country die. And we're doing nothing about it. And by we, I mean everybody. I'm not singling anybody out. I'm not saying any one person is doing less than another. But I'm saying as a collective whole, we are watching our country die, and we're doing nothing. Some of us are trying in new and creative and inventive ways to try to get people's attention, but we get shouted down by as many people, if not more people, than the ones that choose to listen. So I ask you the same question I've been asking you all along today, and the one that I will probably keep asking all the way through the coronation in 2017. And yes, I said coronation. I'm sorry, I don't really think of it as an election anymore. Because the corporate fat cats pick who they want, and that's who we get. And yeah, I know, I'm sounding like Bernie Sanders for the moment, but while I disagree with what he wants to do, a lot of his ideas, as far as what's happened to the government, is exactly truthful. We have an oligarchy. We don't have a free market system in this country anymore. That's the first thing we honestly need to do to fix it. But what he thinks we need to do to fix it is get rid of the free market altogether and turn everything over to the government. I'm telling you, we need to extricate the government from almost everything except for what they were originally intended for. And as far as I'm concerned, dusting off, I believe, another idea of Ben Franklin's. I think, if I remember right, he was the one that when the idea of corporations first started being discussed, he basically wanted them to have a shelf life or an expiration date. I completely agree with that sentiment. Corporations, once they exist, do nothing but try to make themselves bigger and find more money, and eventually they're as bad as the government. It's no different than the unions. The unions have become monstrosities compared to what they were when they were founded. And seeing some of the things that have happened throughout their existence, maybe there was a time for them before. But now that they have some of the most lavish, expensive-looking headquarters for the unions on the planet, I really don't think they need to keep bilking people for money anymore. Because that's what they're doing. And I know this from experience, because I've only had experience of working with 3 unions in my life, and every single one of them sucked. They didn't do anything they told you they were going to do. Their collective bargaining skills, they might as well have been bringing friggin' Jim from Taxi to the table anytime they had to try to do a union negotiation. And you know what I kept getting told? Oh, all you got to do is you got to get involved. You got to go. You got to vote. You got to do this. You got to do that. I did all that. It didn't work. Because it's collective bargaining. Doesn't matter how loudly one single person yells when the rest of the group is fine with it. So again, I ask, how are we supposed to fix what's broken? And for today, we've basically been talking about the insurance, because that's one of the biggest things that Bernie kept saying over and over and over again. It's free healthcare, free college, free healthcare, free college, free healthcare, free college. Again, how are we supposed to pay for it? Where's the money going to come from? Because if you tax the rich anymore, they're just going to leave. So let me tell you how we fix college and how we fix the healthcare system. You get the government out of the middle of both, because, again, backtracking a little bit for those that may be tuning in towards the end of the show, getting ready to listen to Miss Lou Bell here in a moment. Speaking of which, do have an announcement to make before we wrap up, because I just realized that I'm playing an outdated commercial. Not that I don't have a lot of those, but hey, too much time, not enough time, too much to do. Alright, so anyway, how do we fix it? You get the government out of the middle of both. You bring up competition. Because here's the thing. The insurance companies have you bottled up, so you can only get insurance for your health care from Oklahoma when you're in Oklahoma. You can only get insurance for your health care from Texas when you're in Texas. That needs to stop. Plain and simple. And how do you fix competition with the colleges? Get the government out of the middle of the system so that the colleges will stop inflating their prices, and eventually the prices will come down. The simple fact of the matter is, one of the reasons they're inflating their prices as much as they are is because for the last 60 years, everybody's been told if you want to do something with your life, you have to go to college. You have to. It's a must. Because all of a sudden, everybody needed to start being doctors and lawyers because we did away with our manufacturing jobs. Remember what I said yesterday? We are now a service-based economy. Most of the people that make the biggest money in this country right now are in service industries. Now the government's getting into one of the biggest paying service industries and gonna screw it all up. Which is why we now have doctors and nurses leaving in droves instead of coming in, which is going to make the strain on the healthcare system even worse. So I ask you, again, as I start wrapping up the show, and then I've got a couple of end-of-show announcements, was Obamacare actually designed to help something or someone, or was it designed to hurt the entire system? Go through, do the research on your own, shoot me an email, tell me what you think. You can reach out to me anytime you want in several different places. You can always shoot me a friend's request on Facebook. We'll talk, we'll chat, we'll hang out. That's facebook.com/Rowdy Ricky Robinson. Then you can also follow me on Twitter at _R_OKC. And of course, if you really want to hang out, you can shoot me an email and go old school, and that's rick at k98talk.org. And last but not least, if you're one of those business type folks and you want to connect in the coolest way possible for business type folks, you can find me on LinkedIn by searching Rick Robinson. There are several of those there, so you might want to also look for K98 Talk. I didn't realize how common of a name I had until it was too late. Just kidding. It's not like I could change it anyway. Alright, so all of that being said, we are reaching to the point where we are getting to the end of the show. Now, I do want to give a couple of announcements for anybody who's been paying attention or not paying attention. As you know, for the last couple of weeks, Red Nation Rising Radio has not been airing. The host of Red Nation Rising Radio is still affiliated with this station, and since at this point the owner of that brand is not quite sure what they want to do, we are filling their spot with a new show debuting tonight in just about 9 minutes called For Whom the Bell Tolls. And it will feature Lou Bell and special guest, a co-host of mine, a liberal nonetheless, Mr. Bryce Robbins. So I do encourage you to tune in for that, and then shortly after that is over, we will pull out the chair for the big folks in the room, the first ones to make it on terrestrial radio for K98 Talk, and the ones that are leading the charge, JD and Stacy. On that Thursday night, Game On with JD and Stacy, JD and Stacy, JD and Stacy, where you can find it here every Tuesday, every Thursday, different times, just because they like to be a little extraordinary. So on Tuesdays, you can catch them at 9 o'clock at night, 10 Eastern. And on Thursdays, you can catch them at 8 o'clock at night, 9 Eastern. I know I'm an Okie, so forgive me if I don't give the Eastern time first. It's backwards as far as I'm concerned, so blah. Alright, so anyway, I will, at this point, go ahead and round out the show and get ready to get out of here so I can make room for the, For Whom the Bell Tolls. See, I'm used to saying Red Nation Rising. I'm telling you, it's going to take some adjusting. It's going to take some adjusting. Speaking of adjusting, what the heck, I haven't played this one yet today.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
Alright, folks, that's going to do it for this particular episode of America Off the Rails. Hey, I never said I didn't need to have my medication adjusted either. Stay tuned for the premiere of For Whom the Bell Tolls right here on K98Talk.com, and stay tuned for JD and Stacy right after.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. Later.
Game over, man. It's game over.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washing washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.